All right. Today on the T Podcast, we have founder and CEO of Ordr, ORDR, a food delivery service founded in Lafayette. It is ordrtogo.com. We're going to be chatting with Kyler Folse, like I said, who is the founder and CEO, about the company, why it got started, and all the different things about food delivery services, especially over the past few years. It should be an interesting episode, so sit back and enjoy the show. All right, so before we get started, I want to let you know about our presenting sponsor is Chase Group Construction. You may have seen their logo. You may have seen their videos on Facebook if you follow them. If not, check them out. They take the lead and become your one point of contact for the entire design build process. So if you're looking to build something new, a new business, or even renovate a business, they can help you out. They'll design it. They'll help you build it all in one spot. They have a diverse portfolio of projects that range from multi-unit shopping centers to medical centers to popular restaurants, all the good stuff. Everything that you see in commercial construction, they have built it and designed it and built it and you're on repeat. So check them out, chasegroupconstruction.com. Great local people. And let's get to the show. So Kyler, let me go ahead and set the split screen here. And how's it going today?
It's going well, bud. How about yourself?
Good, man. It's a little wet outside, but as long as it's not flooding, I'm good with it.
Well, I'm sure it's flooding in parts of Lafayette.
Parts of it, yeah. Because we're super low land, but the flats as we're called.
Right.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you're a Lafayette native, but So like, who are you?
Yes. So I'm essentially at the core of it, I'm the founder and CEO of Ordr. But before that, I'm a double board certified neurophysiologist.
A what?
A double board certified neurophysiologist.
Neurophysiologist.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do stuff with the brain.
Yes. So basically the brain and spinal cord. Yeah. So we work closely with orthopedic spinal surgeons and neurosurgeons to help them in their aids of surgery. Yeah. So we protect the patient's nervous system while they're doing surgeries. Yep.
So do you see the brain a lot of times?
Yeah, we see them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We help them map the brain, actually. So one part of our specialty is we map the brain. So, the brain, when you open it, just looks like the brain. But there's certain sections of the brain, so we actually help them map the motor cortex, sensory cortex. That way they stay away from these things.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
God, there could be a whole nother episode of just talking about that. Good Lord. Okay, when did you get started in neurophysiology?
2016, mid-2016, got into neurophysiology. Did that for a while. I still currently do it. But basically, we stumbled into this business of Ordr. We actually have a patent on a patent pending on a pharmacy that's a standalone pharmacy powered by robots. So it's a brick and mortar pharmacy that fills your prescriptions under 2 minutes with robots using artificial intelligence, machine learning. So this was in 2019. We had this patent filed and started the process, started building out these prototypes, and then COVID happens. So we kind of got shelved. Everything, the world kind of went wonky, and we decided that now is not a good time to seek out investors or to do this. But one avenue of revenue for the pharmacy model that we were building out was a delivery aspect. So we had the software built out, we had everything done, and we just kind of shelved the whole project. And talking with my wife, we kind of decided, hey, we could do something with this delivery aspect. And we played around with how we should get into this delivery game, if it should be like farm to table, where we deal specifically with like crawfish farmers or flower farmers, or to get fresh produce straight to a consumer's table, we'll deliver it. Or if we could just do straight pharmacy deliveries. And then I said, hey, there's a whole delivery aspect already out there that's been plagued with issues. Let's go fix that. So we started into the restaurant industry, and then we're going to diversify into the rest of the service industry. but we're trying to fix the issues currently in the restaurant industry. So
Okay. So I like how you went from neurophysiology straight to fixing restaurant issues.
Yeah.
That's quite the 180. So you went to school for neurophysiology, correct?
For
Obviously,
nursing.
you would have had to. When did you graduate?
So
college?
we went to UL Nursing, graduated in 2014. Went to law enforcement because I couldn't stand being a nurse. I love nurses. It wasn't for me. So I went to law enforcement. Did that for some time.
So you were a patrol officer at one point.
I was at one point. And
All
then-
right.
Yeah, I know.
Like you were just, this is you driving and you're just
Just taking all
doing
kind of
this.
exits.
Yeah.
You know. So it's all God's plan for sure, because everything has been led by Him for sure.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. Hey, as long as he's driving, man,
That's it.
I'll just hold on tight.
It's been a wild ride. I'll tell you that.
Okay. So 2014,
Yeah.
neurophysiology, and obviously you still work in that,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And then you were building a system to help create a robotic pharmacy.
Yeah, we're trying to actually fix the pharmaceutical industry.
Okay, that's a
prescriptions
whole nother
industry.
thing, man. That sounds amazing, especially right now with AI technology becoming super prevalent. I feel like that'd be something that would be baked in pretty well there.
Yeah, for sure.
So now and then you segued from because of COVID, because you didn't think it would be a good idea at that time to seek investment and all that, and then you segued into the food delivery service, which is, like you said, plagued with issues.
We stumbled into this sucker.
Yeah, you definitely stumbled into. I don't want to say you stumbled into a mud pit, but what? Wow, what were you thinking?
Full force.
Yeah.
Everything I go into is full force. So,
I love it.
we got into it because we feel like our business model and structure, we can compete on the same size level, but on a different aspect.
Yeah.
So basically, like, our business model is we're the cheapest service fees, and we'll get into the whole dynamics of the business model of everybody in this industry, just so the consumers are aware of where they're spending their money at. But we're the cheapest service fees on the restaurant side, on the consumer side, and we pay our drivers the most. So we're taking care of all three arms of our industry in a better way by not being so greedy. So there's different ways to do it.
Yeah. So let's try to paint a picture here before we have to mention my next sponsor, and then we'll continue the conversation. But so I think Waiter was created back in 2008.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
In that, it was before 2010.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 2004. I think it was 2008. Either way. That's close enough time. It's before 2010. That's old enough. There's a lot of people who are getting close to graduating high school at this moment that were born around 2010. So that's just wild to think about. So it's old enough. When Waiter came out, and you can argue this or not, it was a pretty solid idea, and it seemed to be working pretty well. Other companies, like I think it was Grubhub and DoorDash, were just getting started in that same kind of time as well. Some companies grew a little bit faster than others.
Right.
Waiter was a little bit slower because their focus was on more rural areas, and your bigger guys were more focused on the cities.
Right.
And Waiter did try to start targeting those things, but Waiter became pretty popular. I want to say it was right before COVID. It was probably 2017, 2018, in that range when it was like what year was it? I can't remember exact year, but I think it was Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And my wife and I were like, hey, there's this delivery service that is from Lafayette or in Lake Charles, Lafayette area. And like, we could just order our Valentine's dinner and have it sent to our home. I was like, how cool would that be?
How easy is that, right?
Yeah. Well, we went ahead and picked out the restaurant that we saw that we liked, and we picked our menu options, placed our order, and over an hour later, we got our food. I'm like, what in the world? It was probably closer to 2 hours. It was a long time.
Right.
It was so bad of a first time use that we thought there's no way this company can survive on this.
Wow.
And then it later came out that they had to publicly apologize because they did not expect that big of a hit on them. Because Waiter had just started gaining some traction
Right.
in the news and like being talked about, and then everybody decided to use it for Valentine's Day. Like
Exploded.
Boom, let's just try it.
Right.
And yeah, it killed them. They didn't have the capacity to deal with all that. The restaurants got rushed. It was just a wild, chaotic mess. They got over that hump and then started gaining traction a little bit at a better pace. I think a lot of people were scared to use them again on those big occasions.
Right.
But I guess where I'm going with this is, did you see any issues with Waiter at that time? Or were you a customer of Waiter at that time? Like, did you ever use it? Like, what was your experiences with that
absolutely.
company?
I've used them all: Grubhub, DoorDash, Waiter, over the course of years. We like convenience, so I would love my food to get delivered to the door. So yeah, we've used them all. I've never had any issues with them. Everything's been about an hour time frame from start to finish, you know, from ordering it to getting it delivered. But that was Waiter back when Waiter wasn't sold yet.
Right.
So Waiter was still for the restaurant partners. They were still for the customers and their drivers as well. You know, the drivers actually worked for Waiter. So
yeah, they were W-2 employees.
Yeah, they were employees. And then when they went public and were bought out and went public, they went to 1099s. And that was a whole nother issue. They actually, I believe, were sued for that. Some of the drivers tried to sue for them from switching from W-2s to 1099s. So there's been some issues in this industry, but this is an industry that was created out of nothing. This never existed. So how do you law something that never existed?
Yeah.
So yeah. So everybody's kind of learning as they go, you know. But I think we got a pretty good pace on it now.
Yeah. I remember my first time. It wasn't with Waiter. It was earlier than that. It was before Waiter was known. We were in Houston, Texas, my wife and I, on a little family trip with her mom and a couple other people, and we had our own room, and everybody else had their own room, and we called it a night, and it was like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we were in the middle of downtown, like the downtown area of Houston, probably 13th, 14th floor, give or take, of this hotel, and we were like, dude, we want cheesecake. And we didn't get cheesecake. We didn't get dessert or anything. Right. We had just came back from walking around downtown Houston, and we were kind of going to a couple of different bars and seeing what was happening in the Houston area. So we were like, man, we want cheesecake, but like, where's close that has cheesecake? And so we got to looking on one of the restaurant websites. It was a Cheesecake Factory because it was right there. And we thought, hey, Cheesecake Factory, this makes sense. And we saw that they do delivery. I'm like, oh, a restaurant does delivery like that? That like they could just bring cheesecake? That's cool.
Right.
And I saw that it was through DoorDash. And this was when the early days of DoorDash, when it was just web-based. Right. There was no app or anything like that. So we did it. Probably about 30, 40 minutes later, we get a knock on our hotel door. And by the time we opened it, the guy was already gone. And we had a little DoorDash bag by the door, and it had our cheesecakes in it.
You're amazed, huh?
I was so amazed.
I know,
I'm
right?
like, dude, this is cool. And then we opened up, and the cheesecakes were beautiful. They were nice and chilled, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I wonder, like, how long have they had this? Like,
right.
And I later learned it was relatively new, but
well, it's kind of piggybacked off the carrier services that were in New York City and in the Manhattan area. You know, there was always a delivery between law firms. They had carriers to do it, bike carriers. So it kind of played off that. That's kind of where Postmates started. So they were just a carrier service delivering letters, and then just kind of spawned upon that. So
yeah, now Postmates, I think they are majority known for the robots now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of robots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an ever evolving field, but they're in big cities, so
Yeah,
those guys are in
Do
Northeast.
does Lafayette not have the robots or Postmates or anything like that?
I don't think we have Postmates here. So we have DoorDash, Grubhub, for sure. They're predominant here. It took them a while to get here, but they're here
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And they have a pretty good strong footholding here.
And I know that Uber also went
Uber
into
Eats, yeah.
food delivery.
Yep.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, they're
Yeah.
here as well.
What's crazy, and I'll mention my sponsors in just a second, is that it seemed as if, and I'm harping on Waiter because we're going to get to the reason why Ordr is doing what they're doing. That's kind of where, because I can do that. Waiter is no longer a thing. It's done, and it's a sad thing. It's also a good thing for a lot of people because some people got screwed over by them. So you know, it's either good or bad depending on how you looked at it. It's bad for me because I lost money and I had stock in it, and it's good for other people because they're like, hey, screw Waiter. But yeah, you know, and there was a moment when Waiter got bought out, or a good chunk of it was sold to Tillman Fertitta in Houston. There was hope. There was like, oh my God, this billionaire who owns pretty much the majority of Houston and Galveston is like, hey, I'm gonna take this on and grow it. And the potential of that, because he has such a wide restaurant portfolio, was massive. Every Landry's company, you know, that was Bubblegum Shrimp, that was Saltgrass Steakhouse, that's Rainforest Cafe, that's and Morton's, and the list goes on. And he also owns hotels. So
And casinos.
Yeah, and casinos. You're right. Golden Nugget. God, I forget about those. And that was like such an upside for Waiter that's whenever I was like getting into Robinhood and retail investment.
Yeah.
And so I put in some money in Waiter, lost, and then gained in the COVID era, and then lost big time after COVID because delivery spiked. Everybody wanted delivery for COVID, and then they went boop.
Well, I remember when Waiter was going public. Everybody was talking about it. They were like, "Oh, Waiter's going. Their IPO's up. You know, they're starting to trade on this day, and this is what they're expecting it to trade at." And man,
it was an exciting time because it was a local company that was like, "Hey, this is good for the Lafayette area, good for Lake Charles because they were originally founded in Lake Charles, but made their headquarters in Lafayette. Good for South Louisiana. Like,
as a whole,
I want to see if I can maybe get in early on this because I hear about those people that put in like couple $100
to Amazon
and Amazon or Microsoft in the early days, and now they're like billionaires, and I'm like, maybe this is my chance. Wrong. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the good stuff about food delivery in just a second. So let me go ahead and mention my sponsor. So if you want to learn music, you can check out Music Academy of Acadiana. Their website is musicacademyacadiana.com. They can help you learn music. If you are a young person, you have kids, if you're an old person and looking to try something new and before you kick the bucket, you can check them out. They have classes in piano, guitar, drums, violin, saxophone, flute. They even teach audio production, and they can also help you improve your voice. You probably think that your voice can't be improved, but it can be improved. You just got to take their classes. They have a very, very active student base, over 500 students in and out, probably more now because that number was a couple years old. They've been a sponsor for a while. They've had graduates that have excelled in college and major music competitions like American Idol and The Voice. They're founded by UL Lafayette Music School graduate Tim Benson, who is also in a local cover band that's an emo cover band. So if you're a big fan of the early 2000s, screamo music, you know, that type of stuff, you know, punk rock, check them out. He's part of that band. But yeah, the Music Academy of Acadiana, they make their goal is to make music lessons fun, educational, and to help foster the next generation of musicians and creative thinkers. You can check them out again at their website, musicacademyacadiana.com. All right. So going to the creation of Ordr.
Yeah.
So Waiter is on its way down, and all of a sudden there's this company that called Ordr is starting to come up, and you had reached out actually to get featured, and I was like, oh, what, is this person crazy?
Yeah.
Like, that was my first thought. I'm
That's
like,
what everybody tells me.
dude, this, I hope he has to know, like, what he's getting himself into.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, good luck to him. I think it'd be great if he can gain traction and to do it right. And then I loved the premise that you were on with making it good for the restaurants, good for the drivers, and also good for the company Ordr. And I was like, I don't know how he's going to make that work, but let's see, because, you know, that's why Waiter went to the greedy route that they went, because they were not making money.
Well, we'll talk about that. I don't think it was greed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about the creation of Ordr. What was the, we kind of touched on it, but like, what was the overall thought process behind it and what you could improve on that the other guys were not doing? And let's talk about the greed aspect of this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of, like I said, we stumbled into Ordr, but we had this built out for a completely different business model.
Right. The pharmaceutical robots.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we built out this model, we had franchising in mind. So we were going to expand the pharmaceutical model by franchising out the brick and mortar spaces. So we built the software with that in mind as well. We'll franchise the software out. So when we decided to do this route of food delivery, it's like, how can we conquer a larger portion of the country or the nation, the U.S.? How can we go global, per se, or national at least, without the exorbitant amount of money it takes to go into a new market? So if we want to go into Baton Rouge or New Orleans, it's a costly endeavor for these food guys to establish a guy there to run it or someone to oversee it. You have to establish multiple managers. You have to have someone with boots on the ground to go over there and advocate to these restaurant partners.
Yeah.
Not just them, you have to advocate to get drivers on board as well. So it's a huge costly endeavor. So they have to gain that cost from somewheres. They have to gain that monetary revenue from somewheres, and it's these exorbitant service fees that they charge their restaurant partners and their consumers. So it's for growth aspect. They have to charge this much because their growth model, their business model, that's how they grow.
Yeah.
Also through acquisitions. So if they want to get into a territory, they'll buy up a smaller entity and then they'll just rebrand them and they'll go into that market. So it's a costly endeavor for this. The acquisition costs of customers are very expensive in this field. So our business model is, for our growth, is we franchise. So we're community-centric, community-focused is our whole premise. So we want, here in Lafayette, our money to stay here in Lafayette. Ordr is born and raised here. All our dollars are spent here. We stay here. We advocate for our restaurant partners. We're in connection with our restaurant partners. If any issues arise, we're there for them. Same thing for our drivers. Same thing for our consumers. We want that same feeling in every city we go to. And the only way we could do that is by franchising. So we're going to have a local Houstonian in Houston who is there every day, who understands the restaurant models because they've been in it, who understands the consumer models because they've been in it. So we want that community dollars to also stay there.
Right.
So we have a franchising fees. We have a service tech fee that we charge our franchisees. And then we just charge our service fees to our restaurant partners, our consumers, and then we pay our drivers the best. So our acquisition cost is substantially lower than these other guys. So we could pass those savings on to our partners and to our customers. So we have a lower menu item. So what we're seeing currently on our model is our restaurant partners are charged less. So their menu prices are cheaper on our app.
Okay, that's good.
So the consumers are buying more food and they're tipping the drivers better.
You're seeing that currently?
Yeah, we're seeing it currently because these consumers are so accustomed to seeing these astronomical bills when they go check out. It's a conveniency thing now, so they pay for it. But now it's transitioning to better tips and more purchases. So it's pretty cool to see the evolution of it. It really is.
So walk me through a typical order through Ordr. Let's just say that I think you have, was it La Hacienda?
Yeah.
You have La Hacienda on there.
Yeah.
Let's say I order a chimichanga, and let's just use round numbers, $10. What would my bill look like?
So we charge,
roughly?
we charge the consumer 12%.
Okay.
So it's $10 plus 12% of that, so $1.20. So it'd be $11.20. If you're picking it up, that's all you pay. If you're getting it delivered, it depends on how far you are from La Haciendas. We go from 5 to 9 miles out. 9 miles is our farthest. We won't go far.
From the restaurant itself?
From the restaurant itself.
Okay.
Yeah. we'll go 9 miles out. Restaurant, it's depending on the restaurant. Some foods handle better at longer distances versus, other foods. So we let the restaurant determine how far out they want us to go, and then we build a tier delivery. So like 1 mile out might be $1.99. 3 miles out will be $4.99. So you'll get charged a delivery fee. So if you're 5 miles out, it's $5.99. So you'll be paying $17 at the end of the day.
Okay,
So,
on a $10 menu item.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to have it delivered, you're gonna expect to pay some sort of fee.
Right, of course. So we collect. The way the business model works is we charge our restaurant partners a fee. So we make a percentage off every sale. It's 8% that we charge our restaurant partners. We're very transparent about it. So we charge our restaurant partners 8% for every order. We charge our consumer 12% for their service fee. It's tacked onto the bill. And then the driver gets paid 90% of the delivery fee and 100% of their tips. The 10% that is there from the delivery fee goes to the insurance we carry on top of our drivers.
Okay, so they get 90% of the service fee.
They get 90% of their delivery fee.
The delivery fee.
Yeah,
correct.
So our drivers are averaging anywhere from $22 to $26 an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're paying our drivers a heck of a lot better. So we have a higher caliber driver. We have drivers who want to drive for us more because they're getting paid better.
Oh, how many drivers do you have?
Right now we have 34.
34 drivers?
We have 34.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Man. When did you officially start Ordr?
It was the end of September, I believe, of 2023.
Yeah, so not even a year yet.
We officially launched at the end.
Good. Okay.
No advertisement. Everything's been word of mouth.
Yeah.
We haven't blasted advertisements, haven't done much. We had one little radio segment we ran for maybe a month. But other than that, everything's just been organically grown.
Yeah.
So
I think you already answered this commenter's question. So Ashley Dolan says, and I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen here.
Yeah.
Says, as a small bakery owner, what do the fees look like for the restaurant to get on Ordr?
It's absolutely free for our restaurant partners to join us. We invest into our restaurant partners. That's our investment in them, an initial investment. So we provide tablets, stands, marketing materials, stickers, everything that you need.
For free.
For free. We
Stop
build
it.
your menu out. It's free.
Okay.
That's our initial investment into you as a restaurant partner.
Do you know if it was free with Waiter at the time, or did they charge?
When Waiter first started, they charged. They had different packages when they first started out. I know one package, speaking to our restaurant partners who were first on Waiter, a lot of them were, number 15, 16 on Waiter. They said their package was about $1,200.
Wow,
Yeah.
$1,200, dude.
They offer photography, menu stuff built out, but we do it all for free.
Okay.
So the only thing we charge is 8% on every order.
Okay, so Seth Dolan, so Ashley and Seth Dolan, they're husband and wife team for LA Cheesecake Bakery.
Okay, yeah.
So
Good
Seth,
cheesecakes.
yeah.
Great food.
So Seth asked, if he said 8%, tell him to stop by the bakery when he leaves there.
I will pass by. I will.
Dude.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, do I get a referral for that? What's up?
Yeah, I could refer you.
Yeah, I'd love that.
it.
Yeah. So do you know where they're located already?
I
You
do,
sound
yeah,
like you
they're on
do.
Gilbo.
Yeah. Yep.
We frequent
Good.
there.
Yeah.
My wife frequents there, I should say, quite often. It's a bad habit. But,
It is a bad habit, but it's also a great habit.
It's delicious food.
God, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
It's bad for you, but it's good for you.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's
Especially
so good.
with a glass of milk. It's so good.
God, I'm not a milk person, but dude, just in general, their cheesecakes are
They are.
amazing.
They're very good.
Every one of them we've had so far has been just top tier. My wife constantly asks me, when are we getting another cheesecake? I'm like, we're going to get one soon. And Mother's Day is coming up. Our wedding anniversary is coming up. So we're getting cheesecake this month. So guys, Seth, I hope you know I'm coming. I have to go buy a cheesecake. They constantly are giving me cheesecake slices and cheesecakes. And I'm like, look, I love that.
Right.
I have to
Thank
pay
you.
for something at some point.
Yeah.
But we've been doing things together, and I've been advertising for them and kind of just word of mouth. They haven't been paying. They just, I try to help them out, and I try to help a lot of small businesses
Right.
out where, like, hey, you're just getting started. Let me help you. And some people pay, and then I'll give them extra and all that. So, but yeah, Oh, Ben gets a cheesecake. Oh, thank you, Seth.
I'll eat it for you, Ben, while I'm there.
There you go. Oh, you're going to eat it for me? All right. Okay, so going back to the fact that it's free to get started, that's wild. And you're talking about photos. You're talking about the tablet. You're talking about everything.
Not photos. So
no, not photos.
Yeah,
okay, you said marketing material. I thought photos.
Like window stickers.
Okay, got it.
Social media posts, stuff like that. So photos are $350 is what we charge for photos.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I
Gives
think
you 2 hours worth of photos.
And do you do the photos yourself, or do you hire
We have a photographer that does it,
yeah. So you bring in all some nice white box lighting and all that good stuff?
He does. He's very talented. Very, he's very good at creativity. Not me. I'm very logical focused. He's very creative.
Yeah. I'm a creative, and so logic sometimes goes out the window, and I'm just like, how can we make this nicer looking and like appeal to everyone? So sometimes I have to think logic behind it, and that clashes sometimes. But okay, so 8% goes to the is from the restaurant, 12% from the customer, which is great, because I think the customer should be paying their greater share of it anyway, because they're the one taking advantage of the convenience.
Right. So basically, we're a marketplace is how we're listed.
Yeah.
So we're connecting restaurants to consumers who are hungry. So we take a part of that from each entity. So that's all we are. We're actually a marketplace, just for food right now.
So how many companies, how many restaurants do you have on your platform at the moment?
Right now we have 41.
41?
Yeah, 41.
Okay, so I remember whenever you first launched and we wrote about you, I went to your app.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was really only one thing on there at that time. I was like, there's only one thing here.
Yeah.
I said, I know he's just starting, but God, I hope he gets more, because people come and they see the one and are like, maybe, maybe not. But now you have over 40. That's amazing.
So we have 7 more we're about to turn on today. So
wow. So who's, like, can you name off some of them just that we may know of?
Yeah, definitely.
La Hacienda I mentioned.
Yeah, we have La Haciendas, Elise's, TK's Kitchen, Gary's. We're about to turn on Pizza Amor, Pizza Artista. We're about to turn on Soul Houses, Lucia's Bakery.
Wow, that's some high caliber stuff.
Yeah,
now.
we have some good restaurants coming out, man. So we have some in the pipeline as well. So it's been fantastic.
And how are they hearing about you? Are you doing like grassroots, like just knocking on doors?
Yes. So it started as like I would just go to the restaurant and try to get in front of the restaurant owners or the decision makers, which would ultimately be the restaurant owners.
Yeah.
And they were just like, man, you're charging how much? And they're like, man, and they tell you a story about the horrific stories that they had to deal with these other national guys. And so they're like, sign me up. I'm like, okay. And it just kind of
and they get the tablet and everything.
Yeah. Yep, they get the tablet, all of it.
All right.
Yep. So
God.
It's been a
I don't even own a restaurant, and I want to sign up to order. Like, put my platform on there.
I wish it. Well, eventually. So this is step one. There's a whole business plan built out for this. But step 1's restaurant industry. Step 2, we're going to the grocery industry. Step 2 is kind of groceries and farms. So we'll connect crawfish farmers, flowers, organic farmers to our consumers. And then we'll go to step 4, which will be step 3, which would be any service-based industry. So masseuses, barbers, you name it, we could do it. So
okay, so this isn't going to be just for restaurants.
No,
Got it.
We're gonna have a service-based app. It's basically what it is. If you want lumber delivered to you, we'll get lumber delivered.
All right. Because there are other services that had started. I don't know if they're still in business. One of them, I think, was also a local company out of Ville Platte that had started Roadrunner, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
And do you know if they're still active?
I don't know. I really haven't heard much about it. I
haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
recently.
I saw an article about it of some while ago. I want to say before COVID, possibly, and then I haven't heard much about it. So I'm not sure. I can't tell you.
Because I know that was their thing. Is like doing one-off deliveries of like certain odd and end things. Being a Roadrunner, just kind of grab it and go and take it. And
they were like a courier service, like for these metropolitan areas. Yeah, it's a great business model.
Okay, so before we went live, we were talking about the name Ordr, ORDR, and I of course, immediately associated with food. The logo has forks on it and
Right.
spoons.
Yeah.
So you get the order aspect of it goes with food delivery, but you had the response was super quick, and you're like, Order actually stands for X, Y, and Z. What was that? You mentioned.
So Ordr stands for order, receive, deliver, repeat. That's our motto. So basically, it's our business model. So that's our motto too. So
Order, receive, delivery, repeat.
Yeah.
Deliver, repeat. Yeah. Oh, dude.
So, yep. That's how we got Ordr.
No, that's good.
But it also plays into the word order.
It does. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm on your website at the moment. I don't have a login yet. I have it on my phone, but I haven't logged in on my laptop here. But it's super clean. I like the design of it. It's different while also being familiar at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So we didn't want to clutter it. We wanted it to be very seamless, very modern, sleek style. We wanted it to be easy to find things.
Yeah.
To navigate.
Let me see if I can log in here real quick. I'm just going to see if I can do that. And if I can't, I'll just bypass it. Oh, it's having me sign up, so it probably doesn't recognize my email.
Yeah.
But on my phone, I probably did hide my email. I do that a lot now.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
we want to email blast you. Come on.
I know. Everybody wants to email blast me now. Okay, so the growth plan with this company seems to be already figured out. But at the moment, food is like king. Everybody orders food. They want that food. They want it hot. They want it delivered. They don't want to go, especially now, like today, it's May 3rd. It is raining in Lafayette, and there's just times where you just don't feel like getting out. So that makes sense that food delivery would be the best thing to start off with. When you guys start expanding or franchising, rather, do you already have franchise partners in mind, or like have people already contacted you about that, or has there already been movement in that direction?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So we're building out the franchise actual policies and procedures to be able to go into other markets. So Ordr as a corporation is going to own the state of Louisiana. So we're not going to franchise in the state of Louisiana, but we're going to franchise outside the state.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So based in Lafayette, you guys are going to cover the entire state of Louisiana.
The parent company Ordr will, yeah.
Got it. So, but moving forward, so like, let's say Houston, Texas.
Right.
Let's say somebody franchises. You're going to franchise a certain territory within Texas.
Correct. Yeah, we're not. That's the whole premise behind the franchising build out. We have to actually break up territories and allot them. So yeah.
Does that make it easier for the back end, like all the IT side and
absolutely?
100%.
It's much smaller. We could stick to one geographical location versus the whole subsidy. So yeah, it's much easier. It's much cleaner too on the back end. So
yeah, and then I guess with smaller territories, you can kind of pinpoint if there's issues versus the entire state. So if the entire state's doing bad, then you'd have to go into the data, segment the data, and then with this, you can just I don't know how your back end looks, but I'm assuming that
just as clean as this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sometimes the back of the house is the worst part. You don't want to see the back of the house.
No, it's super clean, man. We built it super clean for our restaurant partners as well. So their app is very seamless. So their back end is super easy too.
So this just popped into my head. I remember sitting at a few restaurants when waiter was really popping off, and I would remember hearing the waiter sound.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, freaking, they're getting nonstop orders on lunch hour.
Yeah.
The tablet was constantly going off. What is the jingle or the sound that you guys share?
We could change it.
You can change it.
Yeah, we could change on the back end. So we do have short tones or long tones, and you could change the tone. So our tones are different for each restaurant partner, but it's kind of like a ding 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 ding.
Okay.
Kind of tone, but you could change it. You could go short or long, or it's kind of.
Can you record your own?
No, we don't have that option. That would be pretty cool though. It's like, hey, you have an order, But no, you can't record your own.
Oh,
maybe that's something we
cool.
could look into. That'd be kind of cool.
Hey, yeah, I just thought that would be funny. If a restaurant owner has a signature thing that he or she would say when an order comes in or whatever, do that. But obviously that'd be your call. Yeah, man. So I'm just thinking through the whole company and trying to understand more. I guess go ahead.
I guess we'll go with the reason why we decided to go into this, and like we talked about the issues in the market, And the biggest issues is the cost. So most restaurant partners are on what they call a sliding scale. That was Waiter's term, was a sliding scale. But the other
Based
guys,
on the amount of orders they received.
through that platform,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you received, say, $12,000 a month, then you'll be charged 25% service fee. If the more you do, the lower your fees are. So if you do $25,000 a month, then you'll be a 20% service fee.
I don't know why I hate that model so bad.
It's terrible.
Like in theory, it sounds good because like, oh, if I'm successful, I'll pay less.
Right.
But
because they want you to push more orders to their
but
platform.
God,
Yeah.
it really beats on the people that can't output that much and they're just getting started.
It hurts the smaller businesses.
Yeah.
It does. The larger entities are fine because they're getting deliveries regardless, but the smaller entities are the ones paying the highest service fees. So they're almost punished for being on these platforms. So we're 8% across the whole board.
Yeah, and waiters pitch was, we are an advertising service for you.
Yeah.
You come to us and they see you, and like it's an advertising revenue for you, and or advertising, not revenue, venue for you. And I was like, that's a good way to say that. We're charging you a lot more than we need to for you to be on this.
And like Grubhub and DoorDash, the national guys, Uber Eats guys, they're anywhere from 15 to 30%.
God.
Yeah. So, and that's just on the restaurant partner. So when you go onto their apps and you order, say, from La Haciendas, you're getting almost a 30% markup on the food. So versus what the menu price would be. And then you have to pay a service fee for using the app, which is normally about 15% to 20%. So these guys are gaining anywhere from 30 to 50% markup before the delivery fee. Yeah, so it's costly. It's very costly.
Yeah.
So we wanted to squeeze into this market and actually help our community and actually show people that we could do this better.
Yeah.
And the thing that helps us is the franchising. So yeah, we can go macro on micro level. So
dude, I love that approach because I mean you're paying your drivers. I almost want to go be a driver.
Yeah.
I'm
we have a lot of people who drive at night who just make extra income.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to be a driver because that's too much wear and tear on my personal vehicle, and I do a lot of wear and tear already. But I can see this being very lucrative because there was a point in time when before DoorDash and all them were like super, super greedy on that side with the scales and the drivers were seemingly making a lot of money. And like when Uber had just started, everybody was making a lot of money and there was like a good honey pot there. I would hear stories of people like doing really well. And over the past few years, that sentiment just changed a lot.
Yeah.
And then now it sounds like with you guys, somebody did want to approach it, depending on how much they stay involved and how much they deliver, their outcome could be pretty good.
Right. Yeah. So Uber Eats and these national guys kind of created a field that never existed, a job that never existed, and it's this delivery carrier side, and so navigating that, it's been quite difficult for them. All the lawsuits they had in the past with 1099s and all that, but I think they started seeing that, hey, we could actually start making money off these guys' backs, and that's what they kind of did. So there's been talks that these drivers are saying, hey, we don't receive 100% of our tips. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say, is they taking portions of our tips. I don't know. That's not for us to look into.
And that could be a misunderstanding because, I'm just kind of thinking through this, like the service fee.
Yeah.
Or the delivery fee, like when you order through Pizza Hut,
right?
Like if you want pizza delivered, you have two things that you get charged with: the service or delivery fee, which is sometimes $5 or so dollars, and then you also have the tipping fee, where if you're a decent person that orders and has people come to your door, you're going to tip something.
I would tip someone who handles my food. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. Definitely something. Yeah. But you would think, like a lot of people that I've talked to, I'm not like, what do you say? I'm not surveying people, but I've heard just in conversation that people have this idea that the delivery fee, the service fee goes straight to the driver. And that's typically...
No, service fee doesn't. No, service fee stays with us. Our delivery fee goes straight to the driver.
But like
So,
the delivery fee for Pizza Hut.
No, that goes to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So the way they work is these guys work in the kitchen also. So when they're working in the kitchen, they're paid minimum wage or whatever the wage is, say $10, $11 an hour. But when they go do a delivery, they're paid like $2 and some change plus a portion of the delivery fee or a certain amount. So so it's hard how their model is set up because now we have to track the hours of them working in the kitchen and then track the hours of them driving and try to figure it out. Ours is clean cut. We want as simple as possible. We want everything that we do is automated. So when you order, the restaurant partner automatically gets their money. Driver, when they're done completion, they automatically get their money, and we automatically retain our money. It's all automated. The whole system is
well,
automated.
and that makes sense because you were talking about creating a robotic pharmacy, and that's all automation 101.
Yeah.
So to make this all automated, like today, things should not be not automated. Like it should be automated.
Yes.
Everything that could possibly be automated should be automated.
I agree.
And if it's not, why? Like,
Yeah.
God.
We have technology. Technology is advanced so far that we should be utilizing it as much as possible.
I know. And like, so I mentioned AI. And I think a lot of people say, oh, I can't do automation or whatever because I don't know, how to get started in it. I've literally coded so many things with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'll just go in there and be like, okay, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And like, as long as ChatGPT or the AI software that you're using has understanding of its code-based knowledge, and especially if there's certain like segments of software that you want to use and it's already been existing before the large language model has been existing, there's reference to it. Like, for example, WordPress.
Yep.
WordPress is an old platform, and the AIs know WordPress almost, front and back.
Like
and
an expert.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so like I went in there, I was like, hey, I want to do this, but like, are you able to look at this? And like the AI was like, yeah, I'll just pull this data, and it gave me like the breakdown of what the code looked like and what strings it would need to pull. And I was like, okay, well, cool. So with that data, I'd like to do this. And so on my website, Developing Lafayette, I have a member database that pays a small little membership fee to help us out, and they get. I wanted to highlight their name, so I was like, how do I put their name on there? And I use a third-party service to take their money, but it also creates a user base, a role in WordPress. And I was like, how do I make this work? So I thought I would have to link into their API, the third-party company's API, and I thought,
link it,
and that was a way, but the company was like, you need to, create a webhook and you need to do this. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I even tried using the AI. I was like, I'm still a little confused. I don't know what to do. And they were like, well, are you using WordPress? I'm like, yeah, I'm using WordPress. And so like, oh, maybe you can use your member database and like download a plugin that can
there's
help you out.
extensions like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
on
there's
WordPress.
tons of extensions, but I didn't want to download another plugin. I already got so many plugins. So I was like, okay, let me just see if I can use this straight code. HTML, Java, and CSS. Let's see what I can do. So long story short, went to ChatGPT, told it what I wanted to do, how I wanted it to look, and it spit out an initial code, and I put it to play, and it was almost perfect. And I just had to make a couple of little adjustments. And now, anytime somebody buys a membership, I get a notification on my email that they did, but also I go to my website, and I can see that there's a new name, and it's lit up in green because I wanted it to be green for a new member.
Right.
And I was able to do that through the interval of how long they've been subscribed for. So yeah, it does it. It's just really cool. So going back to automation and AI, there shouldn't be an excuse because there's so much knowledge out there today that can help with that. But obviously, robotic automation, that's a whole nother level. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning on getting into robotics in some degree?
100%, absolutely.
Okay, I figured so because you were doing pharmaceutical robotics.
So this whole delivery aspect is going to plug into the actual pharmaceutical brick and mortar when that launches. So this will be the delivery arm of our pharmacy that we'll build. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm super intrigued by that idea already. So Is this something that you're planning for the Lafayette area?
Yeah, it will be launched here. Yeah.
All right.
It will be the first market here. Will be Lafayette, and then we expand upon that. Yeah.
What would be the benefits for a robotic pharmacy, and what would be the potential drawbacks if there are any?
I mean, obviously, it's technology, so
It needs a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, and technology could fail at any point. So that's one huge drawback. The pros are, you can see on our app if your prescription's in stock and exactly how much it will cost at that point. We could lower the cost of your prescription. So our cost segregation studies have shown that we could fill an average prescription at 82 cents a prescription versus a brick and mortar at $11. So we've driven your cost very low, so we could charge less. And then it's just the fact that we could start the whole process from start to finish. You could drive up and we could fill your prescription in 2 minutes. So you could sit there, get a prescription in 2 minutes and drive off. You don't have to wait 30 minutes or see if someone got your script or have to call the doctor's office to get them to reissue a script. So we take the pharmacy industry has never been revolutionized.
No, right.
It's been the same way since inception in the 1900s, or the brick and mortars in the 1900s. So we said, how can we fix that besides mail order? There's a lot of issues with mail order. One issue is temperature driven. These trucks don't have temperatures. Some medications are very prevalent. It has to be temperature controlled. So the activations in those medications and time releases in those medications act up in heat. Mm-hmm. So how do we solve all these issues? And why don't we just revolutionize the brick and mortar pharmacy? And we would use a pharmacist in their true capacity to be what a pharmacist is supposed to be, which is an advocate for a consumer between the doctor. Is there any contraindications of medications that you're currently taking? They can actually step into the role of being a pharmacist. They're not just a pill filler now.
Yeah, because that's what they are currently.
That's what they are, and they're used and abused by all these national big chains. And same thing with the pharmacy techs. They're so understaffed. So how do we fix the staffing issue? How do we drive the costs lower? The whole business model is we're going against the PBMs, which is a pharmaceutical benefit management company. They're the guys who control the whole cost of pharmacies, prescriptions. So how do we go up against the PBMs and fight these guys? Because they lobby like you wouldn't believe. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is just drive the cost down so low that we could benefit no matter how much these people pay us. So, yeah. So it's coming.
Dude, I feel like this... Like, okay, so I'm just...
Yeah,
I watch Shark Tank all the time. I watch every episode. I try to religiously stay on it. And one of the last episodes that I watched, they had a robotic hamburger kiosk.
Yeah, they have those, yeah. And pizza makers.
Yeah. Oh, I tried to use a pizza maker in Galveston, and it was out of pizza. I was so pissed off. And what's funny is the kiosk was right next to a food truck. And that food truck owner also owned the kiosk. Oh. And so I pulled up to the kiosk to make a pizza. And I was like, we're on vacation. I'm like, there's this pizza place and it's all robotic. I said, right. That's super cool. I want to go do that. And so we went to go try to do it and it was out. And the guy in the food truck was like, yeah, man, it's out of dough. I need to refill it. And I'm waiting on a shipment. I'm like, darn it. We're on vacation. I don't have time to wait. And I didn't go to his food truck because we were not craving anything on that particular food truck. And it's probably... if I remember right, it might have been majority seafood. So I'm like, whatever. So we went and got groceries at the market. But yeah, I was so upset. But yeah, anyway, the hamburger kiosk, it was a small form factor relative and to an actual brick and mortar restaurant. And you just kind of popped it. So is that something that you guys would also do? Is like a kiosk?
So I'll tell you how this thing is built out. So we build these things out in storage units. Storage containers. So the big metal storage containers you see. Yeah. So our footprint is 40 feet by 8 feet wide. So there's actual walk-in part there's a whole thing I could talk about, but there's a whole locker system where if you want to pick up your prescription at a later time, we could fill your prescription, stick it in the locker, you put your code in, unlock the locker, get your prescription. So that's one way. So we have these 40-foot containers all the way down to a 10-foot footprint. So the whole franchise idea behind this is we would start here locally, but say an associate grocer who doesn't have a pharmacy wants a pharmacy on their property, we could partner with these guys and put one in their parking lot, whatever footprint they want. Now they have a self-sustained, standalone pharmacy that they don't have to deal with. We come in on the back end, we take care of it, we service it, we fill up the prescriptions, we do what we have to do. And
does the market or the grocer make money from that?
Yeah.
I guess through a lease or something?
Yeah, no, we'll give them a percentage of the sales.
Okay.
So yeah, so kind of like the same business model we have here, but they get a percentage of the sales. So yeah,
Wow.
so we could build these things out from anywhere from 10 foot to 40 foot, and we could ship them on the back of an 18-wheeler anywhere in the world, and these things can be ran from a generator. So it's contactless, so it beats the COVID protocols if we ever have a pandemic again. Fill your prescriptions under 2 minutes. It's transportable. It could run off the power of a generator if we have to. So if any storm damage, war zone, we could deploy these pharmacies and have them run off a generator and you get your prescriptions. So
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
What about theft and tampering? Because I feel like a storage, a shipment container.
Yeah.
If somebody really
Yeah.
wanted to like grab a good haul of drugs,
they could.
like just back in with a truck and pull it up and
Yeah.
like.
No,
Look at-
these things are bolted down to the concrete.
Nice.
And these are fortified walls. So we're built in these containers, but these walls are super fortified. So we have to keep these robots away from humans. They can't have human interactions because they don't detect humans. They detect each other. So if a human presence walks in the room, there's alarms that stops all robots.
Wow.
And there's a pharmaceutical wall that actually locks. So these robots actually open a whole wall system, pick their prescriptions up via RFID, fills the prescriptions, put the prescriptions back, pushes it closed. So that whole wall system is enclosed with metal and actually locks if anybody ever comes into the presence of robots.
What?
Yeah, so
I gotta see this.
yeah,
This
it's amazing, man. It really is.
dude.
So we're hoping to we're seeking investors for that, but
Yeah. Seeking investment.
It's a costly endeavor, but yeah, it's.
I mean, I don't know where you're seeking investment at. If you've even attempted to reach out to people, but I mean, I know some people that may be interested. My business partners, they are big investors. They actually started I think the first VC firm in Lafayette or the Acadiana area. I don't know if it's still active, but I know it was a couple of years ago. It was real big. So they're constantly looking at investment opportunities. So this sounds like something right up their alley.
Yeah, we're seeking investments for Ordr per se, which will segue us into the pharmacy side of things.
So let's say you get investment, whatever that investment looks like, because I know there's like rounds and like seed rounds and A and B and C, and then there's the friends and family, all that
all that good stuff. Yeah.
Shebang. Let's say everything goes according to schedule and plan. Ideally, with the pharmaceutical side of this, with the automated robotics pharmacy, when do you think, or when do you hope? That's two different questions. I know. When would you like to see it, and when do you think it could happen?
I mean, if we get investments, we could have it on ground within 3 years for sure here locally, with all the bugs picked out of it. If we have to piecemeal investments together and do other things, probably five to 8 years. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Technology's there. It's taking the technology from every different aspect and area and putting it all together in one entity. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're hoping to revolutionize that industry.
Yeah, so you're trying to revolutionize the food delivery service already, and then the pharmaceutical side.
Yeah.
I say revolutionize food, make it better.
Make it better. Yeah. Have a better plan, and then actually revolutionize the actual pharmacy game.
Yeah, man. This is some exciting stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so realistically, within the next 10 years, we should see
Absolutely.
automated pharmacies in Lafayette.
Yeah, sure. Why not? There's already automated pharmacies, but the pharmacy board makes them stay behind a pharmacy counter.
Yeah.
So there's small footprints, little machines that aid in filling medications for pharmacists and pharmacy techs.
But you want a completely unmanned.
We want unmanned.
Yeah, I think that's the
its own
difference.
brick and
Unmanned,
mortar
yeah.
entity that is a drive up, basically ATM for pharmacy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get your Tylenol, your Motrin, everything there. Yep.
So have you thought about obviously you sound like you thought about a lot of stuff already. So
I lie awake at night and think about it, Ben.
I bet. So as a customer, if I pull up to the pharmacy, the automated robotic pharmacy of the future here, what would I do? Would it already be sent over from the doctor, or do I?
Yeah, it's all based on an app. So
Okay, I figured it would be app-based.
It's app-based. So you actually control your profile. You put your insurance demographics, your ID on there. You put all the information on there, and we tell you exactly before you leave the doctor's office how much you can go in the app and see how much that prescription is going to cost using us. So we're very transparent, and that's what we want in Ordr, and that's what we want every business that we go to is transparency. We want to know how much it's going to cost you. So whether it be a copay cost or whether it be a cash cost, we'll tell you how much it is.
Okay.
And you could decide right then and there before you leave the doctor, if the pharmacy is called Right Now Pharmacy. Am I going to Right Now Pharmacy, or am I going to go to a brick and mortar CVS or a neighbor's pharmacy? You know, so
nice, man. That's cool. Okay, well, I can't wait to see where that goes, and you know, God willing, I'm around to see it happen because 8 years, man, a lot can happen, and
it's a long time.
It is a lot can happen in that time span. A couple of different presidents can be elected in that time span, and that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Because it is an election year. All right, is there anything that we did not cover that you want people to know? We talked about the nuts and bolts of how Ordr works on the restaurant side, the driver side, and customer side, pretty much essentially. And we already have you a couple of sounds like a couple of people wanting to get started. Is there anything that we didn't touch on?
No, not per se. I mean, we talked about the national guys, exactly how we compete with those guys, how we could expand in our territory. So
yeah.
I mean,
well, dude, congrats on this and getting it started, and good luck with growing it, because it has been an industry that's been, like you said earlier, plagued with issues, and yes. It sounds like you guys have the path to move forward and to bring this industry into a better light. It sounds amazing. If it's that good enough to where a restaurant owner or the bakery is commenting that it sounds good, that's good there. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
It's been good. I know we're at about an hour, so I typically end these in about the 45 minute to an hour range, so there's not much left to have, because if there are other questions, they'll probably come up after the fact, because that's how my mind works. I'm like, I should have asked this.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate to have had the chance to speak with you on it and to get the lay of the land and the future, because the future, man, the food delivery side is just, it sounds so small with the future aspect of it. So I'm excited to see where you go. And I'm hoping that you guys kill it, not literally.
No, we want to explode. We don't want to,
Yeah, man.
And growth and opportunity for sure.
Well, like I said, congrats on it. If you guys ever need anything from us or any leads, I don't know if I can help with that or what that looks like. Maybe I can help with, anytime we meet restaurant people, because I'm always writing about restaurants. I don't mind letting them know about you guys, and however that would work. But yeah.
We appreciate it more than you know, Ben.
Yeah.
We need anyone and everyone's help now. So
I get that. So now that I have a little bit better understanding of it, I'm definitely going to be an advocate for you, because you're an advocate for restaurant owners and and the drivers. You seem to be advocates for both.
All three entities.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, man, so if you guys want to check out the company, you can go to their website. It is ordrtogo.com, ORDRTOGO.com. Check them out. They're also on the Apple App Store, and you're also on Android, correct?
Yeah, we're on all platforms.
Yep. So check them out. Just type in Ordr, ORDR, on your search in your app or on your Google, whatever you use, and check them out. Sign up and see if there's anything that you can order today, and get the experience. Well, anyway, with that, Kyler, it was great to meet you in person, because I know we spoke a couple times in an email, and I look forward to the success of your company.
I appreciate it, Ben. Thank you very much, bud.
Well, that's it, guys. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay dry, and I hope to, see you on the next one. So, with that, y'all have a great day.